Finals day here at the Corona Bali Protected, and the last quarterfinal now getting underway with the veteran Adrian Buchan taking on Kanoa Igarashi. And the man they call Ace getting the first ride of the heat. Just losing touch with his equipment on that final manoeuvre. Slater getting the jump on Felipe Toledo in that last heat. But here goes Igarashi in reply to Buchan. Driving down the line. Does well to get his board on top of the roof there. Out onto the open face. Throws everything into it and skips out. 26.5 minutes remaining.
For sure.
Good work. Let's get back into this quarterfinal heat. Kanoa Igarashi, wave number 2. First wave was just 2.33. This is where the wave starts to get a little tricky. We've seen some pretty heavy end section hits here. And Kanoa does well to stay on his feet here, Luke.
Yeah, that was more like Kanoa Igarashi. We've seen him be so consistent, finishing waves all event. First wave sliding out on his cutback. Kalohe pretty shallow on that inside, hey?
Yeah, I actually purled and broke my board as if it was on dry rocks.
Yeah, as we see a couple of good turns there for Kanoa, and coming into this part we're talking about right here, so shallow on that inside, but boys are going for it, finishing it off.
Waves I was getting, the waves he was getting, when priorities being lost, what wave would come, all that I just felt like it was in my favor. It just felt right. So I was just going with that, not questioning it. But, you know, he didn't get to throw a big spin or anything, but he took off on that last wave.
Really good chance here to get a 56 championship tour win. He's going to take on the winner of this heat. Here's a replay of Ace Buchan's last ride.
Yeah, earlier wave by Ace, getting upside down on the first turn. Waves are a bit challenging on the inside. Once we saw it start to open up on the outside, it was in Kelly's favour, as we see up and hitting the lip.
Kanoa Igarashi putting the fins well above the coping of that first section. But this wave just starting to split away and fade into the channel.
Kanoa coming off the bottom, getting that tail above the lip. Seen it all week. It's been so strong with that turn. And again, the wave just not giving too much opportunity on the inside. Patient to watch that bottom turn come around, and look at how much board he gets above the lip, steps that front foot forward to get stability, drops down and gets one more turn done with a nice bottom turn, and that wave just shouldering out.
Back out there though, and looking at another ride here. Igarashi, aggressive first turn, getting that board into the lip. He's trying to work this bowl over, staying very close to the pocket of this ride. These waves are shouldering out a little bit. Has the final section to bank into here.
Jersey on and just pushing for it.
The reef's definitely in your mind because you feel like it's right there, you know. So I don't know. It's weird. It's like the river comes out and then there's like little wakes coming at you, so it's really hard to time.
Yeah, as you can see there, and negotiated pretty good there for Kanoa on the inside. Good outside section here. Hits the lip, bit of an air drop, comes around, just gets that carve a little bit wrong, and then, as Chloe was saying, look at all these little river waves nearly coming out for the inside of that wave, but he completes.
Like whitewater rafting through that inside section. But Kanoa, he's really started to add a bit of size to his turns, Kalohe, as he's gotten bigger. We've kind of watched him grow. You had a similar kind of road in your first few years on tour. Your surfing was still evolving so much.
Yeah, it's weird. My weights stayed the same, but I just got stronger. I mean, you guys want to call us wave?
I'll tell you through it. Here we go. Adrian Buchan driving up into the first section. Maybe the turn of the heat so far. Really committed on that first effort. Trying to get some speed for this last section of the wave, which he hasn't really been able to time right just yet. So much water moving, so turbulent. And he does well just to add something on the end of this one. He knows how crucial that is. 15.5 minutes to go. He's making his way in here. He's into this first pocket.
Yeah, we've seen him do some turns like that all the way through the event. Doesn't really get a second one, and that's been some of his strengths. Coming off the bottom, open up the shoulders, timing out of the lip.
Dictate what they're going to do. So yeah, it's a difficult heat to pick.
Here we go, Igarashi driving up into this opening section. There's that fin drift again. Brings it down with plenty of control. Not a lot of recovery time before getting onto the rail, but have a look at this. A radical section of water to try and overcome.
Oh my gosh.
Just rides the mechanical ball and manages to hang in there. Unbelievable.
Who would ever think like a semifinal berth would come down to something like that? You know, like
honestly, that was ridiculous. Put him in a blow-up raft and send him down some rapids.
That'd be sick training.
Good off the top to start, drifting that fins. We've seen it whole event. Section getting a little bit fat, and here we go. He realizes he's got to get it way out in front of it with this section coming. Somehow hits it, but this part here, how does Kanoa stay on his feet? Everything thrown at him, and I think he's claiming that he made that inside completion, which was amazing. And this turn here, money turn, seen him drift the fins all event with a lot of completion. And coming to the inside with a carve, and he's like, oh, here it is. I've got to get over to this section if I want to hit it. And the way he hangs on through this inside is remarkable.
It's really interesting, this string of events that we have in the opening part of the season. Kalohe, Bells Beach, Karamas, Margaret River. Quite often it's impossible to do a dynamic turn, but surviving the end section of all three waves is kind of the key to success.
Yeah. Well, especially when they run us, because we have these big long waiting periods, so it's always kind of solid, you know. So hitting big sections is where you get big points most of the time.
It's interesting though to see this. Sometimes this section is more about survival than it is about a big turn, but there'll probably be a fairly solid reward for Kanoa in executing that final manoeuvre.
Yeah,
despite the fact that it's hardly going to make his end-of-year highlight reel.
Yeah, 6'5". Well, you never know. They have some funny highlight reels around here.
We love a wipeout. Yeah. Well, Igarashi got the lead on his last ride, so Buchan now needs a 6.18 to get himself in front. Starting to put a couple of turns together now, and unable to stick that final float. He has been really taking some hits.
Look at this open face, straight off the bottom, out of the lip, comes around, gets it up there one more time. But this little turn here really needed to finish that off.
Ace pushing hard on that first section. He's not going to get the completion there. 35 seconds to go, and it doesn't look like Adrian's going to get another opportunity here. And he's going to paddle over and shake hands with Igarashi, who's going to be taking on Kelly Slater in semi-final number 2. Our final 4 established on the men's side now. And plenty of support from the Japanese fans here who've turned out at Karamas Beach to cheer him on to a big finish in this event. He's on his way into the semi-finals for the 6th time in his career.